Coming up, a very special 3-Dog Knife affiliate program, 10 new knives in the state of the collection. Then we're going to take a look at the coolest Tanto blades. I'm Bob DeMarco. This is the Knife Junkie podcast.
Welcome to the Knife Junkie podcast, your weekly dose of knife news and information about knives and knife collecting. Here's your host, Bob the Knife Junkie DeMarco.
Welcome back to the show. One of my favorite comments from this past midweek supplemental on my large cold steel knives. He's talking about the Laredo Bowie H_N1092 says Bagwell said that was the only thing he says Bagwell said that the only thing keeping the Laredo Bowie from being a great fighter is the short guard. I think I heard Lynn talking about it too. Yeah, I remember hearing about how Lynn Thompson sent Bill Bagwell a prototype of the Laredo Bowie before it came to market to get his take on it. And well, just like you heard right there, Bagwell thought it was a pretty dang good blade. But, you know, Bill Bagwell was known for his large sort of devil horn guards to capture the blade. And of course, the Laredo Bowie doesn't have that. Maybe that wasn't scalable with the manufacturing that cold steel did in the day. But what a great knife the Laredo Bowie is. Thank you, HN, for that. Second one was from James Key 5SX, who says the kitchen knives in those bins could have been from abusive households where people were afraid of a family member. And I was showing a picture of knives that were turned in Great Britain in a knife give back program because they're concerned about their knife crime. And I was kvetching about how so many of them were harmless looking kitchen blades. But James brings up a good point. Most knife crime is committed in the home, and it's most often with a kitchen knife. So that is very likely. Got to keep the mind open. Even though I think that Great Britain has gone greatly astray, that is probably true, James. So thanks for your perspective on that. All right, coming up, let's get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
In my front right pocket today, I had the very, very classic Spyderco police model. This the original one, albeit a recent build of it. But this is the very first police model they came out with the long 4 1/4 inch blade with the swedge and the full serrations on a stainless steel body. I've always been a fan of this knife ever since I first spotted one in the early 90s, before these kind of knives were ubiquitous. And I knew I had to have one someday. I just didn't realize it was going to take me 30 years to get it. But I got this one over this past summer, and I love that knife. Takes up very little real estate. I am noticing as the weather gets colder, you pull that out of your pocket and you feel the outside temperature for sure. Next up in my front right pocket was the new and beautiful Jack Wolf Knives Gateway Equal End Jack. So you can see this has that cigar-shaped equal end handle. This has Gabon ebony wood covers on it. So nicely done. Pinned construction like you don't see on most Jack Wolf knives. This Gateway series is the entry level series. So you can get these for under $100, like well under $100, 75 to $80. You get 14C 28N full flat ground blade instead of the full hollow ground S90V you get on the premium models. And then, of course, the handle materials are also less premium with steel bolsters and liners, and but still really, really nicely done. This is a great knife, super sharp, excellent fit and finish. So if you like Jack Wolf knives, that is your gateway knife in that. And now the Barlow. Next up on me, I had the TKell Knives Agent 001. Can't get this thing off my belt or out of my pocket. My design with TimKell and TKell Knives that launched the now famous Agent series. I've been carrying around an Agent 007 recently too. That also recently redropped. What a great knife that is. TKell Knives always smashing it out of the park. If you like TKell Knives, you can get one using our affiliate link. Go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/TKell and use the coupon code KnifeJunkie to save 10% on your purchase. 10%, people. I mean, that is nothing to sneeze at. So check that out. Definitely. There are lots of great knives over there. My brother and I were poring over the website this past Thanksgiving, talking about all the knives we want to get because we want them all. Last up, my emotional support knife. This one's been getting a bit of carry recently, but I had the Voyager XL serrated Vaquero on me from Cold Steel with the Snaggletooth Tactical pocket catch on it. This really does bring comfort if you're feeling insecure about stuff. There's nothing like a 5.5-inch Yatagan shaped serrated blade in your pocket, especially when done by Cold Steel with that ultra robust triad lock. So this is what I had on me today. Let me know what you were carrying. Drop it down in the comments. I had my Spyderco police model, old school with the full serrations, had the Jack Wolf knives, equal end Jack from their Gateway series, had the beautiful Agent 001, masterfully made by TKell knives, and then of course my Cold Steel XL Voyager with the Vaquero blade, fully serrated. All right, want to talk about something else before we keep going, and that is we have a new affiliate relationship with Three Dog Knife. You guys know Northern Knives. Mike is on Thursday Night Knives all the time. He's a great guy. He's donated so many like really super high-end pieces for us to give away here on Thursday Night Knives, and we're really grateful for that. But he turned around and said he wanted to do an affiliate program on his in-house knife brand, Three Dog Knife. We've shown and given away these two knives here on the channel. Different copies of them, obviously. Here is the Mac, the multi-animal knife, a beautiful hunting and all-around outdoors knife with M390. This is the K110 made Riot, also a great outdoors knife, but also wouldn't be bad in a back alleyway. And then we have the newest one here. This is a collaboration knife made with Trevor Barrett. Trevor Barrett is a knife maker who won a Forged in Fire episode, and he's up in Alaska. I believe he's in Haines, Alaska. And Three Dog Knife is OEMing his beautiful stuff. I say OEM, but these are all handmade. So check it out. I took my version of this knife. This knife will be, this one in particular in my hand will be given away soon, but I took mine on my Thanksgiving trek and loved it. Thing worked great. And I'll tell you someday what I used it for, but not here. You can get 25% off if you use the coupon code KnifeJunkie at checkout. You got to go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/3dogknife. This only works on the Three Dog Knife website. This coupon code does not work on the Northern Knives website, but 25% off. That is insane. That's an insane deal. And this thing is beautiful, by the way. 52-100 steel, really nice, and micarta, really nicely done. Incredibly sharp. It's quite thin behind the edge because that nearly full height flat grind is very, very broad and gets quite thin behind the edge. So really excellent outdoors knives and otherwise just EDC style fixed blades from Three Dog Knife. You now can save 25% off with the Knife Junkie coupon code if you go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/3dogknife. So I highly recommend you do that. All right, next up, I want to show you what you stand to win if you're a Gentleman Junkie. And for the Gentleman Junkie giveaway, the third Thursday of the month, this month of December, that's December 18th. Someone very special to me's birthday. So happy birthday, Dad, in advance. But we're going to be giving this beauty away. This is the Gunfighter Customs Gunfighter. This is a knife designed by Michael Elliott and made by Jared Franklin of Gunfighter Customs. I got some schmutz on the blade. Let me wipe that off. Beautiful double-edged beautiful double-edged take on the knife, similar to the clinch pick. You've got that egg-shaped handle that nestles beautifully in the hand, nearly impossible to disarm. But this one has a downward angled blade, double-edged. So you have that back cutting capability that you have with the clinch pick, but also a really nice full-bellied front edge. All of it with 2 places to put your thumb. I love the clinch pick, but that does not offer any place for your thumb. You got to grip it like this. So this could be yours, this beautiful custom-made knife with that, by the way, that really nice antique butterscotch rich light there. Just become a gentleman junkie. Go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/join. You can become a knife junkie there. I'm sorry, a gentleman junkie there through Patreon, or you can become one just by joining right here on YouTube. Just look below for the join button. So check that out. This thing is awesome. I got one this year at Blade Show 2025, and I carried it in my waistband right up front. Forgot all about it until I wanted to show it off. And then, of course, I'd remember. But it carries beautifully. So check that out. Become a gentleman junkie. All right, last up in this up front portion, I wanted to show you something else that you get on Patreon. If you join us on Patreon, we have so many cool features. Today's knife note, or this week's knife notes, is a today in history, and it talks about the knives that were taken with Colonel Byrd on his various explorations up north in the Arctic. And he talks. This talks a lot about Marbles knives and Remington knives. And you can see a cool infographic there. This is something Jim comes up with every week. He digs into history. He digs into the life of a knife maker, what have you, and it goes up in knife notes. So definitely go check that out. I'm going to do one more push for Patreon before we dip into Knife Life News. I just want to say you can go to Patreon and save 12% over a whole year. So just if you join at once, you can save 12%. All these savings I'm offering you here on the show. Incredible. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon. Again, that's TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon.
Want to sell your custom knives online? With LaunchCart, you can easily create your own e-commerce store. No coding required. LaunchCart is designed for knife makers like you, with built-in tools to showcase your craftsmanship, manage orders, and grow your brand. It's fast, flexible, and even includes low-cost payment processing to help you keep more of your profits. Start your online knife store today at TheKnifeJunkie.com/launch and turn your passion into a business.
Okay, I've got tons of knives to show you downstream, so we're going to blast through these 3 new and pretty cool looking knives out on the market. The first one is from GiantMouse, a knife company I've never indulged in. One of these days, maybe this is the one to do it. GiantMouse has a new one called the Elmer Ace Auto. So the Elmer is named after a World War II vet who just went out and did his stuff without any sort of fanfare. A beautiful knife. This is OEM'd by ProTech. ProTech, the American masters of out-the-side automatics. Looks like they did an absolutely beautiful job on this. 3.2-inch trailing point. Looks a lot like the Clyde, another model by GiantMouse. It is in Magna Cut, and the handle is aluminum, as you would expect from ProTech. Beautiful aluminum, either anodized blue like you see in this picture or black. 3.2 ounces. The MSRP on this is $365. Remember, it's 2 knife companies that got to get paid, and this is available now. That's the GiantMouse Elmer Ace Automatic. Next up from Tops, this is one that we have not seen from Tops. I really don't think. I know we've seen locking folders, not too many. I know we've seen friction folders, not too many. Here's their first slip joint. This is Tops's new Tex Creek slip joint, and I have a Tex Creek. I love the original fixed blade Tex Creek. It was my outdoor backyard knife for a long time. Look at how tiny this is. It really looks like a Tex Creek. It's just tinified. So this is their latest variation on the Tex Creek, which gets a lot of, it's one of their signature knives, gets a lot of different reversionings. This is designed by Leo Espinoza, their CEO, and it's the smallest tops folder ever. 2.38 inches of M390. It's made in Maniago, Italy. Beautiful drop point with the swedge and jimping. A green G10 handle is quite gorgeous with that beautiful fluting in there, and a handle profile very similar to the original fixed blade knife. You get no pocket clip on this because it comes with that leather slip. Nice little knife here. 1.3 ounces, barely there. Available now, $190 is the MSRP on this slip joint. Hopefully it has a super stout spring, because that's what we come to tops for, the super stout. All right, last up, this is a new one from Kizer, and it's sort of filling a void in their lineup that a lot of modern companies have filled, and that is the luxury utility folder. Utility folder meaning replaceable with those utility razors you can get at the hardware store. This is called the Kizer CO1C UTI 2. Or Sheepdog Utility, we'll call it here. The Sheepdog is one of Kizer's 3 most popular knives of all time. Usually it has a cleaver-shaped blade, but definitely the handle you see before you is signature to that design. This one, of course, has a replaceable utility blade that can be swapped out for a fresh blade with a push of the button that you can see on the other side of the blade. You can see the leaf here that gets pushed out on the jig there that holds the new blade. This is a thumb stud opening knife. Yeah, that orange thing, that's the button. Opens with a thumb stud. It is a button lock, as you can see. I like that sort of half moon button there. Comes in this micarta that you see, or also in G10. And it has a tweezer and toothpick in the butt of the handle, something we've seen a bit from Kizer, or from Civivi and Kizer recently. I like that little bit of utility. If it's a utility style blade, why not throw a tweezer and toothpick in there? 2.86 ounces, so pretty darn light. And this is available soon. Not sure what that means, but it is soon. We're recording this in November, very, very late November of, let's just say December of 2025. So it'll be out soon. $43 is the MSRP. All right, now we're going to get to the first tool, and we're going to talk about the Sodbuster, the farmer's quiet companion.
You're listening to the Knife Junkie podcast. Here's some cool knife history with the Knife Junkie's The First Tool.
If you ask a knife collector about the flashiest knife in their drawer, you probably will hear about a lot of exotic steels and intricate lock mechanisms. But ask a farmer or anyone who grew up working the land, and you'll hear about something far simpler, far humbler, and far more beloved. You'll hear about the Sodbuster. Sometimes called the farmer's knife, this does not demand a lot of attention. It doesn't need engraving or fancy fittings. It's a stout single-bladed folder with a wide-bellied cutting edge and a handle that feels like it grew there naturally in your hand. And for more than a century, it's been the trusted companion for people who make their living outdoors. Its story begins with the rise of industrial agriculture in the 19th century. As farmers and ranchers pushed deeper into tough soils and harsher conditions, the tools in their pockets needed to be just as tough as the work they faced. The Sodbuster's defining feature is a simple slip joint mechanism. It made it nearly impossible to break under everyday use, and you make it stout, and it'll keep on going. Drop it in the dirt, scrape it against fencing wire, slice it into rope or twine, it just keeps going. And while the name Sodbuster has an American twang to it, the idea behind the knife is global. In Germany, the Sodbuster owes its lineage to classic Bauernmesser, the farmer's knife of Central Europe. In France, you have the rustic regional folders that echo the same shape and purpose. Even in South Africa, working class folders appeared with the same familiar straight spine and hardworking belly. Everywhere people worked the land, a version of this knife emerged. The Sodbuster also has a habit of being a part of childhood memories. Many knife collectors will tell you their first real pocket knife wasn't tactical. It wasn't some flashy safe queen. It was a beat-up Sodbuster, passed down from a dad or grandfather. It's a tool that carries the quiet confidence of people who fix their own fences, mend their own gear, and live by daylight and weather. Today, the Sodbuster isn't just a farm tool, it's become a celebration of honest design, proof that a knife doesn't have to be complicated to be perfect at its job. And that's the real magic of the Sodbuster. In a world full of high-tech blades, it remains a reminder that sometimes the simplest tool is the one you reach for first and the one you remember the longest. That's the Sodbuster. Now, if you like conversations like, well, this was more of a monologue, but if you like conversing about knives like this or digging deep into topics as specific as the Sodbuster, join us on Thursday Night Knives. It is my favorite time of the week. It is that time of the week where I get together with you and we just talk for 2 hours straight about knives so that we're not boring our family or turning our wives off with this endless prattle about edge geometry and heat treat. Come join us on Thursday Night Knives every week, Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, and join the conversation live. We have a ball, believe me. All right, let's get to the state of the collection.
Adventure Delivered, your monthly subscription for hand-picked outdoor, survival, EDC, and other cool gear from our expert team of outdoor professionals. TheKnifeJunkie.com/battlebox.
All right, we got a lot of knives to get to, so let me show you this first one. This is a beautiful Jeff Blauvelt design knife from Kansept. 2 knives were recently sent to me by Kansept. I've been carrying them like mad, and I'm about to drop my my reviews on these. This one is the Deadite. I'm told this has something to do with a horror movie, but I'll get back to you on that. The Deadite. This is a beautiful 3.5-inch S35 VN clip point. It almost looks Tanto-y though, because look where that straight goes into the curve that heads towards the tip. There's definitely a little sub tip there, but I've been carrying this thing almost daily for about 2 weeks now, and I love it. I love Kansept knives. I'm a huge fan, and I love the collaborations they do. I've been carrying the Ray Laconico around recently, the Bison, quite a bit. This one's beautiful. It has a very large titanium bolster here, and then this really cool carbon fiber. This comes in a number of different flavors. S35 VN blackened steel here, and this one is a bolster lock. There you can see Jeff Blauvelt's Tough Knives logo there. Always loved that logo, gotta say. I've been following him since he was Tough Thumbs doing knife mods on YouTube, like way more than 10 years ago. Great action on this. You got a standard flipper and a, what do you call that? Thumb stud. So that's the Kansept Deadite. Next one is a fixed blade they sent to me. I asked if they could send me a fixed blade, and this is what they sent, and it's pretty cool. This is called the Niko. The Niko, you can see some a tip of the hat to the karambit, but that finger hole here, that finger ring, is more in line with the handle, so less about holding like this and doing your karambit-y stuff, to me anyway. That ring is more about an easy draw, easily drawing this thing from the sheath, and it does do that well. This one has a very nice milled micarta handle. This also comes in a number of flavors. D2 blade steel, one continuous belly to that hollow ground swedge tip. This thing is a nasty piercing knife and very, very sharp. I feel like the balance is interesting. It's right at the forefinger. I say interesting because I thought it would be heavier towards the back, but then again, there's a ring there, so of course it's not. Really, really great knife with an excellent Kydex sheath. This has had a lot of round-the-house carry because this clip slips over not only a belt, but you can just pop it on your sweatpants or your gym shorts, and it's light enough. It carries really nicely. Also, as you can see there, you have a 90-degree swivel there on the clip. So that is the Niko from Kansept. Next one is a new one from Three Dog Knife. I showed you this. I showed you this one. This is the one we'll be giving away. The one that I have kept for my collection, you'll see in a minute. But a beautiful outdoors Tanto blade. What do you mean outdoors Tanto? I mean that I've always wondered why Tantos weren't more featured in outdoor knives. And here we have Trevor Barrett, an outdoorsman from Alaska and an award-winning knife maker who won an episode of Forged in Fire. He made this to be more of an outdoor knife. It's a chopper. You've got a nice long handle, 52-100 blade steel. You have this really nice micarta, and just an excellent outdoors blade ready to go. And I used mine this past weekend to scrape. Let me just put it that way, to scrape something off a soft surface, and it came off flawlessly. This is a great knife, super thin behind the edge. I learned that at that moment, and very, very sharp. You can get these by going to theknifejunkie.com/3dogknife. That takes you to the 3-Dog Knife website, where you can use Knife Junkie at checkout and get 25% off this and all the other super cool 3-Dog Knife blades made in Anchorage, Alaska by Mike of Northern Knives. So just a awesome knife. And by the way, I shouldn't put this away without showing you the gorgeous sheath. They use this sheath maker, D. Johnson from Alaska, who makes really gorgeous sheaths. I love this thing. So definitely go check that out. This is the 3-Dog Knife Champion fixed blade. All right, next up, 3 from Civivi sent to me, and they're all cool. Well, all one cooler than the next. So this first one is from Zach in the Wild. This is the Yonder, one of Civivi's best-selling blades these days. It's kind of the answer to the Elementum in a similar size range, but different blade shape. They call it a spay blade, which I really appreciate. You don't hear the spay referred to much in modern blades, but this one, you might call it a reverse Tanto. I never would have called it that, but it's sort of Stockholm syndrome at this point. Beautiful contoured G10 handle. This one, obviously red with that really nice black 14C28N blade. There's Zach's maker's mark. Really, really nice in hand. Deep carry pocket clip. Goes to both sides. And of course, you have a tab filler. So a very, very nice feature there. Great jimping. This thing is going to be awesome. I look forward to carrying this knife. That's the Yonder. Next up, this one is really cool. We featured this on Knife Life News a couple weeks back, and here it is in my hot little hands. This is the Outlaw Muck by the American Outlaw. He is a YouTuber who teamed up with Civivi to make this modern Nessmuk style folder. It's got a beautiful 14C28 and Harpoon Nessmuk. Never heard of that before. Harpoon Nessmuk style blades. So you again have a continuous belly. This one a little less extreme than the Niko, going up to that swedged tip with the rounded off harpoon, and comes with this beautiful two-tone G10 handle. It also comes in micarta and plain G10, but the black and white version has this two-tone G10. I love it. Really comfortable in hand with that very neutral arcing handle. And here is the maker's mark of American Outlaw there. See those 2 6-shooters, deep carry pocket clip, swappable to both sides. Really excellent button lock, super smooth, fidgety as the day is long. All right, and last up from the Civivi Sencut group, this is a Sencut, and it's my favorite of the group. Let me show you this. This is the Glenspar, another one we recently featured on Knife Life News. This one has a gorgeous 9CR18 MOV clip point blade with a really nice fuller that, yes, you can use to deploy the blade, and a thumb stud, and a bunch of jimping up there. Beautiful clip point blade, but the handle itself is so yummy in hand. It fits, sorry to use the word yummy, but sometimes It just fits really, really comfortable in hand. Very nice ergonomics. And then this one has that Shred G10. So a material we don't see often, and I don't think we've ever seen it from Sencut. I might be mistaken. I know Civivi has featured a number of knives with this Shred G10, but I am loving this little sucker, this Sencut. But I have a feeling, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling my wife will glom onto this one. So this will probably become hers. She likes the slender handles north to south, and that has a nice slender handle. Really great ergonomics on the Glenspar. Next up, I just came back from Thanksgiving with the family, and my brother, who is ever generous, he's given me half of the sweetness you see behind me. And my brother's the man. Let me just put it that way. He gave me this. He's going through an Italian automatic knife phase, and he got me this wicked cool blade. This is the AKC Roma automatic. Roma, like Rome. This is the kind of thing you carry if you're a street brigand in Rome, with that gorgeous swing guard. Not sure about the blade steel. This is G10, a textured G10, and it comes with a leatherette pouch. I was carrying this around with me like a big old nerd all day on Thanksgiving, hoping someone needed something cut. My brother, who is fastidious to say the least about everything, and that's why he's such a successful guy. Well, he's also very smart, but he showed me this. He's like, guys in the know, Bob, about Italian automatics, they do this. They close the knife, and right as they're closing it, they push the button in just to save the mechanism a little bit. So I've started doing that. So this thing, super awesome. And let me show you what else he gave me in the same breath with that awesome automatic. He gave me these gorgeous brass knuckles. I mean, paperweight. Yeah, so really, really nice knuckle duster here. So look at that combination together. It's a handsome, if not rugged, pairing. No? Yes. All right, so I got the brass knuckles, and I got the really cool AKC automatic. He really whet my appetite for Italian automatics. I might have to go down that rabbit hole, but if I don't, he's taking care of that for the family, because he's gotten a whole bunch of cool. He's into the Chris stilettos, Italian stilettos. He got a bunch of them, and he's into the Chris Filipino swords. So he got a bunch of those too, and he deserves them. He works hard. All right, let's see. Last two things I've gotten recently. This one, yes, that's right. I finally got the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. Let me put this under the knife cam, and I'm going to pull out my Spetsnaz shovel. This is an actual Spetsnaz shovel. The Spetsnaz, the Russian Special Forces, they have this awesome tool. My brother gave this to me years ago. This lives in my car. But I recently was putting down the base for a shed, had to level out the ground, and this was the perfect shovel for kind of pulling up sod. I wasn't using my Sodbuster for pulling up sod at the right depth, because it's got these super sharp edges. So 5 sharpened edges here, and just a really sturdy, stout shovel. Put that down, and it inspired me to get this cold steel version with the ash handle and the beautiful new shovel blade. I haven't used it yet. It does come with a great looking sheath that works very well. So I might end up putting this in the car, so that if my car's ever broken into, which it has been before, that if something is stolen, it's this and not the shovel my brother got me, because I'm a sentimental sap. Ooh, did you hear that? Beautiful ring on that blade. When I ordered that, I had to do something. This is not something I do frequently. I'm not one of these guys who, I love that knife, so I'm going to get 2 of them, but I did in this case. It's been about 25 years since I got the first one, maybe more, and that is this. I got a new Trailmaster. The Cold Steel 3V Trailmaster. I just had to bite the bullet and get it, even though I already had it. Oh, God, I'm so glad I did. I love the Trailmaster, and now this is a pristine version. I think when I decide to use the Trailmaster in the backyard, I'll keep using the old one since I've layered all the abuse on that one. But this is such a great knife. I wanted a pristine version of it. And like I said, I've used it a lot for outdoor chores, batoning wood and hacking through vines and stuff like that. But it's also a great fighting knife. I don't, not that I've been in a fight with it, but just from moving around with it, like with my Filipino moves and my acquired American Bowie moves, it would make a great fighting knife. Maybe not as cool as some of the ones with wooden handles or stag or some of the fancier fittings. This is an outstanding knife for fighting. It's got that 0 ground swedge, and it is good to go in 3V. All right, so a lot of new knives here. You'll be seeing reviews of some of them. Definitely the Civivis and the Kizers and the 3-dog knife. You've already seen me talk and wax poetic about the Trailmaster so much. I'm not gonna bother with that. All right, let's get to some really cool Tanto blades. But before we do, I want to show you this new design that Jim just came up with. I'd rather be home with my knives. And okay, let's face it. If we have wives or girlfriends, they're in charge of the social calendar. And let's also face it, we forget what they tell us. Oh, Saturday night, we're going out with and we're going to go to this for dinner. And okay. But then when that day comes, we'd rather be at home with our knives. So if you'd rather be at home with your knives, go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/shop and check out. You can get this emblazoned on. We've got coasters, we've got t-shirts, tote bags, aprons, and these awesome new beanies. Man, I'm pointing these awesome new beanies. They are built to fit for winter. And I will be getting mine in olive drab, like you see on screen. So go to the knifejunkie.com, /shop and check out this and many other super cool designs. We have 30 plus pages of really cool stuff just like this. So check it out. All right, very cool Tantos. This was inspired by 2 knives that you'll see here, one by TKell and the first one by Microtech. So as I mentioned, I just came back from Thanksgiving. That meant a drive, a 6-hour drive, and that meant this knife. Yes, I know you've been hearing about this for 7 years, at least 13 years if you're OGs. But this is my my official road trip knife. If I'm in the car for longer than an hour, I pop this in my pocket. This is the SOCOM Elite from Microtech. This is a 2012 version, March of 2012. It was built. You can see that right there on the blade. Gorgeous aluminum and carbon fiber handle. One of 2 knives that I accept tip down gleefully. This and the military from Spyderco Military One. But I've always loved that beautiful S35 VN blade. It is such a gorgeous design. It's a clip point, drop point, whatever you want to call it. But the point of this Tanto is straight down the center. And you've got a nice swedge aiding in the thrust on this. And everything about this blade I love. It's done so much. It's ridden with me so much over the years. It's cut everything from ratchet strap to pancake. It has done it all. So I love this knife. Beautiful Tanto blade, unique, and definitely a great way to start this list. Next one is an Americanized Tanto, kind of in the classic sense, but from a new-ish company and an outstanding company. This is the Fisher Blades Beckwith FS. FS meaning full size. You can also get this in the small version, the daily carry defensive version, the Beckwith Covert. But I decided why not? It's the same blade, basically, just enlarged. I'd show you this one. You've got that excellent sub tip there, and then a really nice centerline point. You've got basically the setup of a Delica here with that big thumb ramp with the downward spine terminating with a nearly centerline point. This thing is made, and then a downward edge, which really channels materials into this portion of the cut. So a really, almost like a recurve, a really effective cutter and thruster, and a super ergonomic, awesome handle. This is the Beckwith from Fisher Blades. This one is number 86 out of 100. They do batches of 100, basically, of all their knives. I've most recently shown the McNasty, the dagger, but they really made their bones on this design, the pocket design of this. And man, I love what they do. The blade is awesome, and the handle is also awesome. You've got this great place for your thumb in reverse grip. It also aids as a bird's beak, keeping it in the hand on a pressure cut or a slash, though this is more of a thruster, I'd say. It works out amazingly well as a slashing knife. That's the Beckwith FS from Fisher Blades. I love looking at it. It's a great carry too. Let me show you the sheath. I'd be remiss if I didn't show you the sheath because it fits really great in the waistband. You can pocket carry this. I know Daniel from 411 Outdoors does, but this one I slide in the waistband using that discrete carry Kansept clip. All right, next up, I showed you this already. This is from Three Dog Knife. It's this amazing K110 recurve outdoors or back alley Tanto. I'm kind of on the fence about it. 3/16 of an inch thick, really sturdy and stout. Not a light knife, but not too heavy to ride in the scout position in this beautiful D. Johnston made sheath. I love this sheath. Again, Three Dog Knife with their gorgeous sheaths. But this one comes in a black coated, in this tan coated, and I believe a gray. This is, believe it or not, black micarta. It will become more black, kind of like when you get it from Tops. The longer you carry it, the gray turns to black as it soaks up your personal filth signature. You've got that recurved Tanto with that broad and sweeping front curve there. I've been told this would be great for skinning smaller animals by people who know. I do not. I've never done it, though much to the horror of my wife, I intend to bag a squirrel and cook it over the fire pit just to do it, just to try it. I know we live in the suburbs, and if anyone sees me, they'll probably have me committed. But that's what happens when you live around pearl clutchers. I want to bag a squirrel and eat it, and if I do, I will use this to skin it to see if Shane was right. But this is the Three Dog Knife Riot. I know I've said it thrice today already, but if you want to get one of these, 25% off, go to thenifejunkie.com/3dogknife and put Knife Junkie at checkout, and you can get this for 25% off. You're going to be hearing this once more, so get used to it. Thank you guys at Three Dog Knife for offering that deal. I love it because I love your knives, and I want our listeners to also love your knives. Getting perhaps a little under the weather, so forgive. All right, next up, this one pretty much started my daily carry of fixed blade knives. This is the Hogtooth EDC Tanto, also the platform upon which the Nova 1 and the Nova 2 were built. This beautiful hollow ground 154 cm Tanto has a nice long swedge meeting that center line point, or it's a little above center line, but it's definitely in a great place for thrusting. And we have evidence that this works in a real world scenario. At least Matt Chase does, and he told me about it. I'll spare you the details, but this is great in a self-protection environment, even in a military self-protection environment where this was used to great aplomb, but not this one in particular, but this design. Hollow grind, the hollow grind makes that straight edge, like super, super keen behind the edge. But the way Matt heat treats his 154 CM, I've used this as a feather sticker too around the family fire pit, and it does amazing work. But I love that sort of wedge-like tip. So it doesn't have a big flat portion up front, just the edge. It reminds me a little bit of an Umnumzan Tanto, the one I have, but just beautiful. This one has that Kydex with rubber kind of incorporated into it. Fits so well. I love the EDC Tanto. I love it so much that we did the Nova one, put the recurve Bowie blade on this platform. Also, we put the Kiridashi blade on this platform with the Nova 2. So such a great knife. Huge fan of this. This one is a revelation. I've been carrying this a lot since I got it a week and a half ago. I know it's been this long that it took to get this knife, but this is the Tomas Alas version of the Agent. I showed you the Agent 001. This is the Agent 007. Tomas's collaboration with TKell knives. Look at that beautiful, long, slender Tanto blade designed to slip between the ribs, people. So definitely a super hardcore defensive knife. You have the Agent handle, so all the Agent series knives, 1 through 7 minus the 6, which doesn't quite exist yet. They all are on this handle platform, which is excellent for reverse grip. You got a glass breaker here that does not hassle the thumb. You've got jimping here for the thumb and all sorts of swales and swoops to capture the hand. But look at the blade on this. Long, swedged, pointy, super pointy. It's like almost like a stiletto. If a stiletto and a Tanto met in a bar, had a fantastic evening, and then had offspring, it would look like this. Super great, but it's also not it's not just a tactical blade. It's also meant to be very utilitarian. You can run the finger up there, use that pretty stout yet slender tip to do all sorts of detailed cutting chores. And this one is wearing the battle lock grip. So really, really nicely done. And a huge favorite of mine. I'm so glad now to have the 007. And I have to send one to my brother. I have to get one and send one to my brother. I think they're sold out, but who knows? Maybe I know someone who knows someone. I gotta get one to my brother. He's so into it. I was like, Vic, what about my blade? He's like, I already have your blade. This one's sweet. I'm like, all right. So got to get him one. If anyone has a line on a 007, let me know. Next one is the Tucson TS 336. And by the way, that last comment was a joke. I can get one for myself. This one is gorgeous. Look at that. Recurve, upswept, clip point. It's like it's a Bowie and a Tanto. Again, meeting in a bar and having a fantastic evening. But this one has a really nice titanium frame lock with the burlap micarta on it. This is the one Tucson knife I've kept for myself. I've had a number of them here, and they're great knives, don't get me wrong, but I didn't carry them enough. This one, I still don't carry that much, but I could not let this Tanto blade go. Hollow ground on the recurve portion, flat ground on the forward to the point portion. It's super wicked. You've got the thumb stud and the flipper and some great jimping on the spine. I love this knife, and just having it in hand right now, I resolve to carry this more often. It is incredibly sturdy. They do great work at Tucson. And now I know true aficionados of Tucson, like Jared of Neves Knives, has had some issues recently with the company, but I don't have enough to know. So this one is great. Love this. All right, next up, I want to show off just for a brief second. This is my Three Dog knife Champion's blade from Trevor Barrett and Three Dog Knife, one that you could get with the coupon code we mentioned before. But this knife Okay, I brought this one on my trip, my Thanksgiving trip with me, just so I could be with it because it arrived the day before I left. And I just wanted to, I wanted to give away the black version. This is me falling on my sword because I'm such a good guy. I think the black version looks better. I've always been more into black blades than tan blades, but I've somehow bonded with these 3-Dog Knife tan blades. I already have, well, I have one of them already, and I figured why not add this to it. This is another super excellent outdoor Tanto. I always think of Tantos as a fighting knife, but um, that's because you don't see too many outdoor Tantos, but it's a great blade shape for outdoor work. I mean, as far as I've heard, and then as far as I know, the one thing that maybe the point on this might be a little high for bow drill uh, platform making or something, drilling holes. You might have to readjust your grip and readjust your thinking for about 10 seconds before you discover where that tip is. It's not a drop point like many outdoors knives, but you have this really nice, gently swept, straight portion of the blade that is incredibly thin but robust behind the edge because you have a 3/16 of an inch blade of K1 52-100 ball bearing steel, super tough stuff. So great carving, but also great batoning with this. And then the swedge itself, the harpoon swedge, is nice and flat, so you're not going to chew up your baton. But then up front, you have this situation here. You have this extra jimping here, and a place to get purchased with your finger, and a nice curved surface here for skinning animals. Uh, don't ask me. I'm not the outdoorsman. Alaska guys have come up with these really cool outdoor Tantos, and I think they seem to fit the bill beautifully. Now, what I used this for was so domestic and so suburban girl dad. You're not going to believe it, but I'll tell you anyway. Um, the room we stay in with my parents has a nice Persian rug in it. One of my daughters dropped a big jug of or a big tub of CeraVe, which is like a face cream, on that rug, and a bunch of that crap slopped out onto the rug. And yeah, I knew my mom wouldn't care, but the girls were all freaked out. So I got down on the floor and used this awesome blade to scrape that stuff up. And I know it doesn't sound like much to you, but perhaps it's like scraping the viscera from the inside of an elk. I'm not sure, but I got to say, it cleaned up that Persian rug beautifully. I know it sounds bougie, and I don't mean it to sound that way, but this thing did an awesome job on that. So what I'm getting at is it's extremely sharp, but also thin behind the edge, but also gets thick behind the edge quick enough to be used for batoning, which I'm doing today because we're gonna have we just got a solo stove, and we're gonna have a little fire today and drink some cocktails because it's the end of Thanksgiving break. And this is what I'm using for that. I'll let you know how it turns out on Thursday Night Knives. But the gorgeous 3-Dog Knife Champions blade, designed by Trevor Barrett and made by 3-Dog Knife. Super awesome knife and a gorgeous sheath. And by the way, I am warming up to the desert tan. All right, next up, you've seen this one a bunch of times, 1,000 times since we started this show. But I think arguably the most beautiful folding Tanto blade here is the Reate K2. Gorgeous, deep hollow ground S35 VN blade. Hollow ground, that is, until you get to the tip where it's nice and flat ground. And then you have that gorgeous swedge running the perfect length of the spine of the blade, meaning they leave you a little bit of room for that jimping and for more of a flat to put your thumb on. A perfect EDC Tanto blade. And yeah, it's pretty upswept. As a matter of fact, the tip is higher than the spine. But I got to say, I've never had any issues with using this knife in a utility fashion. That curved forward portion is great for rocking on a surface. If you have to cut stuff like this, which I've done plenty of times with string and what do you call it, paracord. This one, of course, has the beautiful contoured titanium handle with the sort of dragon scale pattern on that. I love this knife. I'm so lucky to have this knife because I know a lot of people want this. Knife Joker is no longer doing their exclusive versions of this. So this is a hard knife to find at this point. Such a great knife. This was my first knife. I thought it was my first knife on ball bearings, but I had the SOCOM Elite before this, and that had ball bearings to no fanfare. You know, when ball bearings became ubiquitous, people were like, "Ooh, ball bearings." Yeah, well, Microtech was doing it. A good old American company was doing it without any fanfare, and I respect them greatly for that. Second to last, or penultimate, one of my favorite words, SAT words from back in the day. This is the Civivi Synergy 4. 4 meaning this is the Synergy with the 4-inch blade. I think this is one of the coolest Tantos ever. It really does swoop down and put that point in the center line of the blade. It does have a belly to it, but it's also downward facing, so you get a lot of shearing power from that straight edge. It's a nice thin blade, so the fact that it's all flat ground doesn't have any effect other than devastating on the cutting power of this. It's got this cool, this was designed by a knife designer, De Young is his last name. I'm forgetting his first name. I wanted to say Dennis, but that's the guy from Styx. O Young. It's O Young, the last name. O apostrophe Young. It's Irish, I guess. But anyway, you got this radiating circular pattern coming from the pivot. This has become my blade show knife. This is the knife I travel with to blade show. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, Young. Really great knife. Since I got rid of my previous blade show folder, this has become my blade show folder. I carry it with me until I get something else, and then I replace it. But this is a great, this would be an awesome tactical knife if you had to fight with a folder, a liner lock. This would be an awesome one to do it with. But other than that, makes for a great utility knife. Flipper only, and outstanding, beautiful knife. 14C28N is the blade steel on this one. All right, last up, I couldn't do a list like this without mentioning Cold Steel, and this one is really based on their original master Tanto, but this one is the Tanto 12. So you have a 12-inch version of their Tanto with the hollow ground main grind and then the flat ground tip. I love where they come together. You get that beautiful arc. Super sharp, incredibly strong at the point because you have the full rigidity of the blade up to that point. But as you may see here, right where the light meets the shadow, you can see that this is also a Sanmai blade. So let's see if we can, you can see a line just north of the edge line. That's where what kind of steel is it? I guess it's VG10 meeting a 420 jacket come together. So you get the super hard steel on the cutting edge, and then you have the softer steel on the spine, so it doesn't break when you're swinging this into armor or anything else you might need to cut with this gorgeous 12-inch blade. Yep, comes with the standard Secure X sheath, which when I got it did not hold on very well. And then I was cooking some sauce and had this right next to the stove, just accidentally because I'm a nerd like that. And apparently that was enough to heat up this portion of the sheath and make it stick around the guard well enough that it has much better retention ever since cooking with it. So there you go. All right, so that's been my list of the coolest Tanto blades. I got plenty of Tanto blades here, and I think they're all cool, naturally. But I really wanted to go for the ones that strike a slightly different chord for this list. Tell me what your favorite Tantos are. I always want to know that kind of stuff, what you guys are into. It always inspires me to get newer, other cooler stuff. So there you have it. Be sure to join us again, like I said, for Thursday Night Knives. I want to meet you. I want to talk with you. We have a great time on that show. Tell me. I'm like your knife therapist. You can unload whatever it is. Let me know. All right. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, don't take dull for an answer.
Thanks for listening to the Knife Junkie podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review at reviewthepodcast.com. For show notes for today's episode, additional resources, and to listen to past episodes, visit our website, TheKnifeJunkie.com. You can also watch our latest videos on YouTube at TheKnifeJunkie.com/YouTube.